Okay, so it has been 2 weeks since I did the initial unboxing video, and okay, I actually didn't set this cube up at all. It's still in the stock tension and I didn't lube it. Whereas with these two, I put in a bit of Kelvin's high viscosity and I tightened the Hays because it came quite loose out of the box. While on the Spark, since it was quite slow out of the box, I tried to speed it up using the GTS 1 break-in method. The GTS 1 comes with break-in tools like that, where you can use it to misalign your cube's layers, and then after that you push the layers just to cause the cube to click. But of course, the X-Men Spark is too big to fit into that break-in tool, so I had to do it by hand. And first, the speed of these 3 cubes, I would say the Aofu GTS is still the fastest one out of all 3 of them. And the feel-wise, it's also the smoothest. It has that silk layer, specifically referring to this, even though I didn't throw any silk in it. But despite that, it feels like it has a very evenly distributed layer of lubrical silk in it, and it's just super nice. The plastic also feels a bit thicker than it is on the Spark and the Hays, so the cube feels a lot more solid and a lot more durable. But at the same time, it doesn't feel heavy at all. It's actually quite a light and very fast cube to turn. For the Hays and the Spark, I would say the speeds are now quite comparable to each other. But I would say that the Hays does turn a little bit more easily. While on the Spark, the absolute turning speed is similar, but when you come close to this point, the layers tend to stick a little bit more, and I still need a little bit more force to push the layer. And as for the feel of these two, the Hays still has quite a sandy, smooth feel. It's no longer the crunchy feel out of the box that I described in my first video. It's gotten a lot smoother. But you can tell it's not perfectly smooth because this cube has a lot of these anti-stick tracks everywhere, and it's not just on the heads of the pieces, it goes all the way down to the base of the roots. And I suspect that is what sacrificed the smoothness of the cube a bit. The Spark is kind of unfortunate that we only have black ones available, but like the look of having a black cap and the primary internals does remind me a bit of the MGC, and this cube also, in general, it feels like a mix of the mini Wuche and the MGC combined, in the sense that it's a bit denser, a bit tighter, and also a bit slower. But at the same time, like, that's the MGC part of it. Then the mini Wuche part of it is just the general smoothness and the fact that it kind of slows down around here and the layers stick together a bit. The Manex are probably the strongest one out of the 3. But there seems to be some additional force, like some frictional force and some elastic force that will stick the layers together, and that's why this cube is really solid. It doesn't really deform, but it comes with one drawback that kind of kills off this cube for me, which is I find that it's actually quite painful and also a bit tiring to do long saws of long sessions on this cube. Because I keep having to push through this additional set of force every time I turn a layer, and considering how many times I actually turn a 7x7 in an actual saw, it actually I actually start to get tired around like the edge pairing or something. So the next feature that I want to talk about is deforming lockups. So up to now, most of my reasons for preferring the Aofu GTS are kind of subjective reasons, but this is going to be the objective part. The Spark actually has the least interesting mechanism, and the reason behind it is it's just a typical U mechanism. So, okay, the U mechanism itself is a good design, but here it's basically just the same thing, again, just made bigger on the inside and extended outwards less. So I'm going to flash a picture of the shadow versus the U Hua, and you can kind of compare, and I think the same relationship exists between the Uzi and the Spark. Okay, the Hays has a slightly more interesting mechanism in the sense that it has a triple anchor. So here the corner is being flattened out, but if you look at the edges, you can actually see one extra ridge where the third anchor is supposed to be. So if you look at it from this angle here, you can see kind of that bulge at this height here. And yeah, the corner's triple anchor is, the first one is supposed to fit down here, the second one down here, and the third one is here. But this design, once again, we've actually seen it before in cubes like the original Aofu, and you can kind of see the corner here is a triple anchor, and the edges quite similar in shape, just that the size is different. Like this part here is bigger, while on the Hays is smaller, and at the bottom on the Aofu is a bit smaller, while the Hays is bigger. Aofu GTS on the other hand does something that the other cubes did not do. So if you look at this mechanism here, this piece has this extra large thing that protrudes out. So okay, I'll just show you the cross-section pictures here again. And what this extra curve does is basically kills off the deforming lockup. The deforming lockup is one of the most annoying things that can happen on a big cube. But on most big cubes, like this one is the Aofu GTS, you notice the top layer is quite small from the side here. And you can also see the spark. The piece is the head of the piece is quite small. But on the Aofu GTS, however, like the area that it occupies is a lot bigger, and it gives this piece much less area to slide around. Because honestly, I want Moi to make an Aofu GTS 2 with like this spike just implemented. So the Aofu GTS is not a cube that deforms easily in the first place, but I still want the Aofu GTS design to be inside this cube because the second layer is just a lot nicer. I can find that it's a lot more stable, and I can afford to tension the cube looser and set it up to be much faster, yet it just doesn't flex as much. It's no longer a matter of the deforming feel, but here, since the second layer does flex a little bit, even though it doesn't deform, I had to tension the cube a little bit tighter, and this cube just feels a little bit tight to turn. Whereas on this cube, everything is just fast and light. Yeah, this cube used to be the best cube out of every 5, 6, and 7 that I've tried, but now I think this one has also taken over.